Good morning and welcome to today's New York City Council vote on Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. At this time, during today's vote, no one may approach the dais. Please silence any electronic devices you might have. Chair, you may begin.
Good morning and welcome to today's hearing of the New York City Council's Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. I'm Councilmember Sean Abreu, Majority Leader and Chair of this committee. At today's hearing, the committee will vote on the following legislation related to the city's outdoor dining program. Proposed intro number 655A, sponsored by Councilmember Lincoln Ressler in relation to expanding access to roadway cafes. Proposed intro number 894A, sponsored by Councilmember Gail Brewer in relation to vertical winterization coverings for sidewalk cafes. Proposed intro number 917A, sponsored by Councilmember Justin Sanchez in relation to sanitation and cleanliness requirements for roadway and sidewalk cafes. And proposed intro number 918A, sponsored by Councilmember Chanel Thomas Henry in relation to paying sidewalk and roadway cafe revocable consent compensation in quarterly installments. Also at today's hearing, the committee will hear and I'm laughing at Justin, sorry guys. Also at today's hearing, the committee will hear and vote on two pre-considered resolutions, which respectively set forth the council findings concerning the environmental review conducted for proposed intro number 655A, as well as for proposed intro number 894A. Before we begin, I would like to thank my staff and the committee staff for their hard work in preparing for today's hearing. Jaleesa Quigley, my Deputy Chief of Staff, Theo Miller, and Sierra Townsend, counsels to the committee, and Kevin Katowski and John Bazile, Senior Policy Analyst of the committee. I would also like to thank the staff of the Consumer Worker Protection Committee, Sarah Swain and Natalie Meltzer, for their efforts on the bills being voted on today. I will now pass it on to Councilmember Ressler to provide an opening on his bill.
Thank you so much, Chair Abreu. I really appreciate it. You know, it was about 3 years ago that the Adams administration and this council updated the outdoor dining program. And unfortunately, the legislation that was passed a few years ago did not work. We have seen a really calamitous decline in the number of restaurants that participate in outdoor dining across the city of New York. During COVID, there were 8,000 restaurants that were offering outdoor dining. Today, we're well under 800. So 90% of the restaurants that used to offer outdoor dining, that used to provide a great place for all of us to enjoy an outdoor meal, are no longer available. And the number one reason why restaurants say they're not providing outdoor dining anymore is because it is stupidly expensive to build and deconstruct and store these outdoor dining structures during the winter months. So you may be wondering, am I really going to enjoy a meal in December outside? I mean, tragically, with climate change, there are a lot more warm December days than there used to be. But the most salient benefit of this legislation is that there are going to be thousands of additional restaurants across every one of our neighborhoods that are offering outdoor dining and a great place for us to enjoy a meal outdoors. One thing that the seasonal program did get right is that it addressed cleanliness issues around outdoor dining structures. Last year, there were just 11 311 complaints, 11 311 complaints about cleanliness at outdoor dining structures in the city of New York. By insisting that all of the furniture is readily removable, that the floors are removed once a week and cleaned, we have, I think, effectively addressed rat and garbage issues around our outdoor dining structures. All of those same policies remain in place as we make the program year-round. To address very real quality of life issues across our communities, and with the council with the kind of advice of council members from Lower Manhattan, like Councilmember Marte and Epstein and Wilson, we've reduced the hours to 11 o'clock. Currently, outdoor dining structures can stay open until midnight, and sidewalk cafes as well. Now they will all close at 11 p.m. This is great for our economy. Last year, with the exception of home health aides, the private workforce in New York City actually shrunk. But Controller Lander did a great study that found that every restaurant that adds outdoor dining adds a job. So if we can add thousands of outdoor dining structures across the city, those are thousands of good jobs that New Yorkers can benefit from. I am thrilled that we are passing this legislation that is great for restaurants, that's great for hospitality workers, but most of all, it's great for all of us to be able to enjoy a meal outside, enjoying the streetscape of New York City. Speaker Menon has been a huge champion of this legislation since before she was Speaker. Back last summer, she was conspiring with me about how we could try to pass and move this legislation. I want to thank her and Jonathan from her team in particular for really being steadfast in their support for this bill. The Ledge Division did a brilliant job in navigating this. I really want to thank Rachel Cordero and Sarah Swain, who I think just flew back from Egypt just for this. I'm just kidding, but we're really grateful for their help. My chief of staff is brilliant. Molly is the brains behind everything we do, and I really appreciate her hard work on this. And there were many, many folks who supported this. Open Plans, Transportation Alternatives, the Hospitality Alliance, and most of all the small businesses around New York City who told their stories and explained how the seasonal program just quite simply did not work and we needed to fix it. You know, we need to be more clear-eyed in government of recognizing when policies fail and fixing them. That is exactly what we're doing today, and I'm really proud that we're restoring outdoor dining to its previous glory. Thank you, Chair Abreu. Really appreciate your strong support here.
Congratulations, Councilmember. I will now pass it on to Councilmember Thomas Henry to provide an opening statement on her bill.
Thank you, Chair. Since stepping into the role as the chair of the Committee on Small Business, I've had the honor and the privilege of touring businesses across all 5 boroughs in New York City. And what stood out with each and every one of them was the cost of doing business is getting harder and harder. So Intro 918 would allow sidewalk and roadway cafe operators to pay their annual revocable consent that is currently being paid annually to be broken up into quarterly installments, alleviating just a small tidbit of the financial burden that so many of our businesses face across the city. So to all those restaurants that we toured and visited, this bill is for you. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else like to speak on the bills today? Seeing none, I will now ask the committee clerk to call the roll.
Thank you. Good morning. William Martin, Committee Clerk. Roll call vote, Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. All items are coupled. Chair Abreu.
I vote aye.
Lewis. Brooks Powers.
Come back. I vote aye.
Dinowitz.
Aye.
Hanif.
Aye.
Krishnan. Marte.
I vote aye on all and abstain from Intro 655A.
Karina Sanchez.
Aye, and I want to congratulate all my colleagues on their bills.
1. Justin Sanchez.
Aye.
Wang.
Aye on Intro 917, Intro 918, and no on Intro 655, and no on Intro 894. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Following results. Introduction 894 has been adopted by the committee with 7 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, no abstentions. Introduction 655A adopted by the committee with 6 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, 1 abstention. And all other items have been adopted by the committee with 8 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions.
With that, this vote is closed.